Okay, they have our commander-in-chief wrapped up like a mummy. He cannot speak in the terms that I'm going to speak right out of the gates. And I'm not going to say anything inappropriate. I just know that he's prohibited from stating what I'm about to state, okay? Just because he's out on release, pending sentencing, all that stuff. They will literally go grab him and throw him in the box. So he can't say what I'm about to say. Everybody, and listen to me, this is not a false alarm. What I saw yesterday with that DNC was one of the most amazing theatrical performances. I was very, very concerned about the people, the unknowing, what is the term? Just the unsuspecting individuals that you don't expect that the U.S. government and our system is going to be perpetrating military-styled psychological operation upon the American people. It used to be illegal. It used to be. But they repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, okay? And that allows them, and Deb Santilli, she'll remember when we kicked and screamed, the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012 repealed the Smith-Mundt Act and made it legal for the Pentagon and the military to run fake news, just propaganda, just fake, and just run it within the United States upon the American people. That's never been undone. People like Rand Paul, he supported it, indefinite detention without due process and all that other stuff for enemy combatants. So everything that we've set up in our governance, our law enforcement, all that stuff to go get bad guys, they just pointed it right at the American people. So Deb Santilli, I've been asking for everybody to drop us notes in our chat room. If anybody watched, if you watched, we need to get you, we need an intervention. We need to get you to a hyperbaric chamber. Like get a pressure suit, something like that. Just do that and have you, decompressed. Maybe get you in for a colonoscopy, clean that side out too. If you watched it. Now, I watched it, and I'll tell you what, it was very, very difficult. I had Deb screaming at me because, I had that.
I kept saying, by the way, I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
I thought blacks are blacks a minority in the United States?
Yeah.
Blacks are a minority, right?
Are.
Italians, they're a minority.
Sure.
What if all of a sudden we open up the GOP convention? It's all Italian people. Man, ladies and gentlemen, Vinny Boom Butts. You know, is that representative of America? But here we have, and it's very serious. And by the way, I'm going to speak in the context of this isn't a racist statement, okay? I'm going to play Malcolm X, and he refers to the House Negro. And the House Negro, as per Malcolm X, kept all of the field Negroes in line, okay? And that's what we saw at the podium yesterday. It was not representative of America. It's not even representative of the black American population because the majority of them are not a bunch of House Negroes like those people you saw up at the podium yesterday. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
But they want to keep the field Negro in line. So they got to put those black people out there, right?
They certainly took identity politics to a whole new level yesterday.
Does that sound racist, by the way? I mean, because I'm a white guy, it sounds racist.
From you. Yeah. It does coming from you, from Malcolm X, whom they worshipped.
Yeah.
He was able to get away with it. But, I think we learned a big lesson from Cliven Bundy when he quoted Malcolm X and was called a racist. Okay, so, you got to be careful. But, I mean, really, the identity politics was on full display. And then it was women, and...
Oh, my goodness.
And a lot of black people.
Oh, the disgusting. By the way, Gina Raimondo, the former governor of Rhode Island,
Uh-huh.
She is probably that one exception, as far as I'm concerned, to the abortion rule. We need to approve post-term abortions of people like Gina Raimondo. Okay?
Oh, man. She's
Post-term.
such a commie.
Yeah. And I'm being funny about this, but I'm being very real. I mean, the abortion stuff, I don't even want to read some of this stuff. I don't want to read it.
Oh, yeah, it's off the hook.
It's so off the hook. They're offering, free abortions. I mean, they're running a religion. It's a religion.
Sure.
It's antichrist. It's a cult-like religion that gets you to worship their god of the government and their god of the environment. I don't know how many times I heard yesterday. I wanted to go plant a tree by the time I was done listening to, saving the environment. But
Yeah.
first of all, how many people out there do not want to save and protect the environment? How many
Well,
people don't?
Of course, everybody does. There are some people who don't care.
They're
But,
claiming the exclusive rights to doing that.
yeah, well, listen, I was raised in the country, right? So, my dad, you and I were talking about this yesterday. He would not buy a brand new car to save his life. And then he and my brother would spend hours under a car. And, but where they went to get their car parts was junkyards, right? They go to the junkyards. It's still very popular around here. You're looking for, man, I got this stray hair that keeps tickling my face. And so, anyway, I mean, when I've seen junkyards that are cleaner than California and New York City, and they're always going after the people in the junkyards who own junkyards. Just so you know, we had a guy. His name was Mr. Coyne, and he owned a junkyard, and he also owned a tank, and he was an older gentleman, and I mean, he owned a tank.
A military tank?
Yes.
That's what I need to get.
And he would get mad at the government because they would always, this was back when I was a kid, right? Because they were always coming after him and this regulation and that regulation, right? So one day he just drove his tank to the courthouse and he got arrested.
He did?
Yes. It was so great. My mom and dad knew him very well and they loved him. And he, those are the kinds of radicals I grew up with, right? Where people actually stood up to the government, fought City Hall, and won. My mother was one of them, right? She kept her farm. They tried to take it away from her and incorporate it into a state park. And my mother fought for almost a decade, and she kept her farm. And she even threatened to shoot people if they can't, the Army Corps of Engineer people. She said, oh, they can come and survey. She said, but they'll leave with buckshot in their, what's. And the mayor of my town was like, now, Ella. And he knew she was serious, though. Guess what? They never came out and surveyed, and she kept her farm. But people used to fight back then, and now, Pete, there's so many regulations and a real threat of going to prison.
Can I speak in the context of Perry Jordan? What would Perry say? What would Perry do in response to? Yeah, because that older generation, a lot of them fought and died against fascism and communism. They did. The golden generation. They know what it is. There are some of them that are still alive to this day that they're ready to re-enlist under the right leadership to fight against it. Ladies and gentlemen, I do trust that nobody is going to take action on what I'm saying because it needs to be under proper leadership. But it must take place. President Trump cannot go meet with all the citizens' militia in all the jurisdictions across the country. But right now, somebody needs to. Somebody needs to organize an effort, make sure we don't have a bunch of rogue operators that are out there. You do that, they declare a national, and you give them a freebie. We don't want to do that. But the day after the election, if the election is stolen the way we anticipate that it's going to be, we're not going to take. Joe Biden said, "Oh, there is no room for political violence in this country." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, Well, I mean, is there anybody right now that will allow, because it would be theft, if you lie to people in the fashion that they did last night, and then they go and cast a ballot based on what they're being told, that's like election rigging. You're rigging the mind. Lying is not illegal, but we have such a dumbed down votership. Like, for instance, Commonomics, right? We need to make sure that these kids that don't know how to manage their friggin' checkbook.
You know how it was when we were kids. Not all kids were like you, Pete.
Me?
Yeah.
I was a freaking loan shark because of how the majority of everybody around me literally just, it didn't matter what color they were, just everybody blew their money 1 week into a 2-week pay period.
And most kids do that when they're...
And I made money hand over fist.
Yeah.
I did because of that.
So these kids who are...
They don't know how to manage their checkbook.
Well, no, I mean, these kids who are 18, 19, 20, up to 25, maybe even, their parents are still balancing their checkbooks for them, right? They set up a bank account for them and gave them a card when they were like 13 years old. And mom is she's still doing that for them, right? Balancing everything. They're still living at home. So they're even dumber now than they were when I was a kid, unfortunately. And, we just didn't have any money, right? I would have to go to my mom on, any given day and say, I need this much for this, and I need that much for that. And when we went out on the weekend, as I became a teenager, it was either get a job and pay for it myself, or have to go to my mother and ask her if I could have like $20 or whatever.
You know what I need to do? I need to do some man on the streets here in Cincinnati, and talk about, because we're going to run into a bunch of Kamala voters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're all mesmerized by this thing. But if we could give them a peek under the tent, Sean, have you ever studied how, like, what happened to communist Cuba? How they went from, and it was a beautiful, prosperous country.
It was a resort,
thriving resort.
Yeah, a vacation destiny.
But Sean, our board operator, he's a youngster. Younger generation. Sean, are you aware of what happened in communist Cuba as a result of like price controls and government, nationalization? Are you aware of what happened to it? Okay. See, so most people don't know that. Our generation does. We know.
Well, we lived through it, and we saw it on the news.
We watched it. Oh, my goodness.
Decades.
Once upon a time, in the bustling world of scientific discovery, a seemingly ordinary molecule has emerged as the hero of the century: hypochlorous acid. Curativa Bay, a Florida-based wellness company that offers a groundbreaking solution in skincare and disinfection with our hero technology, hypochlorous acid. Since we began in 2016, we've been the first and only company to stabilize hypochlorous acid, revolutionizing the industry with this incredible innovation. Hypochlorous acid is nothing short of miraculous, providing the best solution for skin breakouts and accelerating the healing of burns and wounds. Our EPA-registered CuraClean disinfectants harness this power, delivering unmatched efficacy. Imagine something 80 times more effective than bleach, yet completely non-toxic and safe for you and your loved ones. At Curativa Bay, our commitment to your wellness goes beyond just our amazing products. We pride ourselves on offering 5-star customer service, reflecting our dedication to ensuring every customer's complete satisfaction. We've grown into a global provider, delivering our innovative solutions to over 10 countries, including Australia, Scotland, Italy, and New Zealand. Our skincare line is crafted with meticulous care, using only all natural ingredients sourced from the USA. Our hypochlorous formulations combine pure Dead Sea salt and purified water, ensuring a 2-year shelf life for our skincare products and a 5-year shelf life for our disinfectants. Our EPA-registered disinfectants are effective against viruses from the common cold and SARS-CoV-2 to HPV, MRSA, and C. diff. This unwavering commitment to quality and integrity has earned us a 100% 5-star rating across all of our offerings. Our customers consistently praise the effectiveness and safety of our products, and we back this with a 100% satisfaction guarantee or a full, immediate refund, no questions asked. Join the thousands of satisfied customers who trust Curativa Bay for their wellness needs. Go to CurativaBay.com and don't forget to use promo code PETE for 10% off and free shipping for orders over $50. That's CurativaBay.com. Use promo code PETE at checkout. Place your order now with confidence in our 5-star customer service rating and our 100% satisfaction guarantee.